Welcome back to Slushie Review. This is Keith.
And this is Chris.
And we are reviewing Morbius, made by Sony. Just to let you guys know. But yeah, Morbius this week just came out like 2 weeks ago. It is a Marvel property owned by Sony, and this is his origin story. So be prepared for all origin stories. Like we pretty much figured out, all origin story start with, spoiler alert, the person becoming however they're going to become, fighting a person who they have become. And if that doesn't make sense, I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah.
So, either way, we obviously are drinking some slushies today. My slushie has turned purple somehow. Oh, because no, I got blue. So I have blue raspberry, I had cherry, and I have pina colada. What about you, Chris?
I got the Old Faithful Cherry Cola.
Cherry Coke.
It's never done me wrong.
That's fair.
I love it.
That is fair. Well, I was going to say that one time you got all syrup, but you were fine with that, though, I think.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I would say that's fine.
I'd rather have all syrup than all ice.
I guess that's fair. I mean, if the syrup's on the side, I'll send it back. Simple.
If there's no syrup, I'm sending it back. Because then it's just water.
Yeah.
And what are we here for? And why would I pay for that?
Well,
Pay for water. Pay for some fucking rain.
I agree. I don't like paying for water either, but
I do it, but I don't like it.
I don't know. It's water. Either way.
Water. In other news,
Water
wet.
Water wet. Dr. Michael Morbius is the movie we're doing.
Michael.
It may or may not be a part of the MCU. It may or may not be part of the Venom CU. We don't know, honestly. But cool. Either way, I don't have anything else to say. So let's hear a word from our sponsors.
Nothing else to say. And that's the episode. Good night, everybody.
Thank you for listening. We definitely appreciate it. Make sure you follow us at Slushie Review on Twitter at Slushie Review. You can also check us out on YouTube. Just search Slushie Review. We pop up. We're the first result. And then check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And also, coming soon, Instagram. Follow us on IG.
The gram.
At Slushie Review Podcast.
Yes.
We just started it. Need some followers. Need some likes. All right, welcome back. We are going to go with the cast with young Chris.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. So, cast of Morbius, we've got Jared Leto as Dr. Michael Morbius.
Joker.
Yeah. I'll say. Matt Smith as Milo. Also, Lucian was his real name.
Is a given name.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Adria Arjona as Martine Bancroft. Dr. Martine Bancroft. Jared Harris as Dr. Emil Nicholas. Tyrese Gibson as Agent Simon Stroud. Al Madrigal as Agent Rodriguez. And spoiler alert, unless you saw the trailer for the movie, Batman as Adrian Toomes. Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton as Adrian Toomes. We're going to talk about that too. So, there's some other people in this movie that really don't matter because they weren't in more than one scene. So, that is all for the cast of Morbius. I'm going to throw it over to Keith for the plot of this film. This piece of cinema.
Yeah. So, question. Sidney Stroud was his name? Does he say Sidney or Simon? Why does that name sound familiar?
I don't know. I'm guessing because so many fucking comic book characters have that like alliterative first and last name.
Okay.
But I'm gonna look him up real quick and see if he's of any significance.
Yeah, because he said Stroud just sounds familiar to me, but I could just be making it up or whatever the case. But I could have sworn he sounds familiar. And then also, they kind of made it seem like he was a part of the Venom movie, which he wasn't.
He definitely wasn't.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't in it, but they made it sound like he was. You know what I mean? When they were looking at the dead bodies, they're like, "Oh, we had something just like it with the other whatever." Blah,
in
blah.
San Francisco.
Yeah, that's what they said.
He's nothing special.
Same.
He's like a CIA agent who looks like he has had at some points run-ins with other characters, but he's not like a superhero or anything like that.
Okay, well, Morbius. Dr. Michael Morbius, it starts off as he is, I don't even know what his condition would be called. You don't call those people like paraplegic or anything, right?
I don't know what his condition was, because like
they didn't say.
He had severely limited use of his legs.
Yeah.
Because there were times where he didn't have the like crutch things and he was just kind of holding himself up with his arms, but also like using his legs.
It was almost like he had cerebral palsy.
Maybe.
But he didn't have cerebral palsy because he had a blood disorder.
Yeah.
But it looked like that's how a lot of people with cerebral palsy, they use the walking sticks. I don't know what they're called, honestly, because they're not canes.
Yeah,
but they wrap around your arms.
Yeah, it's like a brace crutch thing. Yeah, I'm not sure what the actual technical term for it is.
So basically, that's how he is perceived in the film, because he is handicapped and he has a blood disorder. And they show him at a cave in Costa Rica, searching for some kind of bat. Then we go to like his childhood, and he meets Milo, and Milo goes, "That's not my name. My name is Lucian." He goes, "Doesn't matter. You won't be here long enough." He goes, "Oh God." Check out our Patreon to see what Chris was doing.
Hey. Actually, no. Check out our OnlyFans to see what Chris is just doing.
Same. So, but anyway, so Milo goes, "That's not my name," and he goes, "Yeah, but you won't be here long enough for me to learn your name, so I don't really care." He's like, "You're Milo." He's like, "Oh, was that your friend before?" He's like, "Milo, the last Milo was Milo from the time before, and the Milo before him." So basically, he made up this name Milo. Anyway, they become friends. They find out that Morbius is a genius, obviously. They show his intellect somehow. He fixes some machine that the people can't fix. The people who made it, I guess. Fast forward to him being an adult again. He is in charge of a hospital, and he's helping out different patients. He seems like a very friendly doctor. He actually seems really concerned. He takes care of children, it looks like, and who also have some kind of disorder with them. And then he's trying to figure out how to cure his disorder and Milo's disorder, because Milo also has a disorder. Sorry, I didn't say that. Milo also has some sort of disorder, so he's trying to cure it for him and his best friend. He tells Milo, like, "Hey, I can probably do something, but it has to be in secret and it has to be in international waters." So guess where we go next? We go to international waters, off the eastern seaboard, where Morbius actually tries human trials with himself, like every scientist in every comic book. And he turns into basically a vampire. And he goes on a rampage and he kills everybody on the boat. And then he comes back and tells Milo about it. He tells Milo, "No, you can't be a part of this because it's turning me into something I don't like. And Milo goes, so I gotta die and you get to live a life of freedom. And obviously Jared Leto's like ripped now. He has like a six-pack. He's like healthier. He's not as pale as he was. All the things. So basically he's a superhuman. He actually says superhuman abilities. Somehow, some way, we didn't really see it. Milo took the same serum. I'm assuming he stole it from his desk because that's where it was at. And Milo becomes a vampire as well. And that's where the movie starts. Hold on to your butts. It's about to get real. So yeah, that was the plot. I guess we should get into some likes. Young Chris, would you love to go first?
Okay. Let's do it.
What you got?
First thing I wrote down. Daily Bugle.
Didn't see it.
No?
Did not see it.
Yeah.
Was it when he was looking at the paper?
Yes, it showed up. I think it showed up twice.
I didn't pay attention to it, but I saw it.
Fair. I wrote Daily Bugle, and I noticed 2 of the headlines at the top of the paper. I think there were 3 on each of them, but I only saw 2 of them because they didn't show them for very long. One of them mentioned the chameleon, and one of them mentioned the rhino. And I was like, okay.
Nice.
Okay.
I didn't see that at all.
No? I knew to look for it because it pretty sure is in one of the trailers.
Didn't really watch the trailer like
And
that.
also now, when I watch these movies, I look for stuff like newspaper headlines, and when they show the news thing, I was watching the ticker at the bottom to see if there was anything. And it did come up in the movie. Where they were like, well, we'll get there. Probably. We might not. But something in the movie, something in the ticker on the news came up later in the movie. It wasn't like a revelation or anything. But yeah, I watch for that stuff now.
Okay.
But yeah, that was my first like, was the Daily Bugle, for one, existing.
Fair.
And I wrote the Chameleon and Rhino headlines because those are established Spider-Man villains. And it seems like we're getting there. Again.
Yeah. My first like, when he first changed into Morbius as we know him as a vampire, I thought it looked so good. I was like,
Yeah.
Okay. This is. Let me preface this though. After I say something, I'm gonna preface it by after I say it. I'm gonna say we collectively, me and Chris, we went into this movie hearing terrible things about it.
Oh, yes.
At least I did. I think you said you heard some good things.
I heard some people on the internet and in person tell me that it's everyone's been coloring it as like the worst comic book movie ever, but also like the worst Marvel-based movie ever. I was like, I've seen Daredevil. I saw the Ben Affleck Daredevil back in the day.
Same. Also, Elektra.
I didn't see that because I
Didn't need to see it.
Daredevil sucks. So I was like, I don't need to see the
Spin-off, right.
sequel, spin-off, whatever. I didn't need to see Elektra, open a bar in Boston with somebody else that's not Fraser Crane. I don't fucking know how spin-offs work. I know how spin-offs work, and that's not it. But I didn't need to see it.
Fair.
Also, didn't see Howard the Duck. No, that movie's a piece of shit.
Same. And also Thor 1. But anyway. Yeah, so I went into this movie thinking it was terrible. You'll get my rating at the end.
Same.
But that first change was really good. When he was killing those dudes on the boat, I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, ooh, I like this.
Also, it happened pretty quickly, too.
What do you mean?
Like just because this movie was not like a typical Marvel 2-hour movie. It wasn't much shorter, but like an hour 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But they got right fucking to it.
I
He was a
agree.
vampire within the first half hour.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they did, didn't they? Yeah, I agree. You're right.
I don't mind it because
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to sit through 3 hours of a movie before the Hulk shows up.
Yeah.
Not that that's happened before.
I don't give a shit about Jared Leto, honestly.
Why don't you like Jared Leto?
I just don't like him.
He doesn't bother me whatsoever. And I think people really hate him, and I have no issues with him at all. And I actually think he's a really good actor, too.
See, I don't think he's a bad actor.
Yeah.
He's never done anything that really made me think, oh, he seems like, I don't know, he just seems cool.
Yeah, that's fair.
And also just all that shit that people were saying. he's like, oh, using the crutches, and
What do you mean?
that he's like, he didn't break character. He didn't want to break character, so he used the crutches to on set, like just to walk around set. So like he didn't break character, and apparently people like had to push him in a wheelchair to like go to the bathroom. Otherwise, it was gonna take like an hour. I was like, that's just annoying to me.
Jim Carrey did that.
I don't like that
A couple
either.
movies.
I don't like that either.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. I do know. There's a lot of people who do that.
I don't get it.
Character.
I guess turn it off. Act like yourself after you're done acting like them. Look, I'm not an actor. Acting. I'm not an actor. I will never be in a film.
You never know.
Sometimes you do. Well, I'll never be in a film that I would show to people. Not when you didn't have to pay to see on the Slushie Review OnlyFans channel. But yeah, like I would never. Obviously, I'm never gonna be a fucking Hollywood actor.
That's fair.
So my opinion is pointless. But here it is.
No. Not
I
really.
don't get it.
I was just asking. I wasn't trying to make you like him. I don't want you.
No, that's fine.
I'm not a Jared Leto champion, so
Fair.
I'm just asking.
Nor am I, and I apologize for the diatribe.
No, you're good. All good.
But I don't understand method acting. That's it.
Fair. That's okay. I mean, we did get a good villain out of method acting, and then he killed himself. So.
But it wasn't because of that.
Yeah, it was.
Was it? I thought it was something else.
They said he went so far into method acting that he ended up getting depressed about it.
Oh, I thought it was something else. I thought it was like a substance thing or something. Or was that because of that?
I think so. I think it all led up to that because he got so deep in, because he was watching a lot of like, especially like when he did that videotape, like Joker, when he had the videotape by himself or whatever. Like he was doing so good at method acting, like when he did that tape of him talking to the fake Batman, the director even got scared. Like, oh, well, you gotta calm down a little bit. And he was so deep into it, he couldn't come out of it. And then it ended up causing him a lot of depression, and then I think pills and stuff. And then that's how he killed himself.
That's another take against it in my book.
And then it's like the Hollywood thing. If one person, if some good comes out of it one time, people are going to continue to do it.
I'd say less good than, I'd say the negatives outweigh the positive on that one.
I've heard of so many actors like, oh, it took me years to come away from that role. And I'm like, that's not worth it.
Yeah, same.
That's not worth it.
Once this movie came out, I think I saw it on Instagram or something, like they had like 4 or 5 different actors take on the concept of method acting. I think Samuel L. Jackson was one of them. He was like, he's like, for me at least, acting is something that's like a safe thing. You should be able to be safe doing it, and method acting kind of can take that away, that aspect away from it. And I forget, some other people said different things, and it was like him, Mads Mikkelsen had some stuff to say, a couple other people, and then I remember Robert Pattinson, Batman, was like, people only method act when they're going to be an asshole. They never get into character to be a good person and like carry that around all the time. When they're being an asshole, then they carry that around all the time as their character. But it's never like, oh, I'm gonna be like, I don't know, probably Tom Hanks is Mr. Rogers. He probably wasn't wearing his fucking zip up sweaters and being super nice to everybody all the time, because apparently Tom Hanks is just nice naturally, or at least that's what they want us to think about him. At least I have no reason to think otherwise. But no one's good all the time except for Mr. Rogers only.
That's fair.
And I found that to be interesting. It's like, yeah, you really don't hear about a lot of people, because also it's probably less fun to report on good stuff. But
Always.
Yeah, you never really hear.
Watch the news.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I agree. And it's funny because you said that, because I was thinking that it was Samuel Jackson, but it must have been somebody else. But there was somebody, it might not have been Samuel Jackson now that you say that. But somebody was like, it took me like 3 years to come. I think it was Forrest Whitaker. Mm-hmm. There's some role he played. Was it the Scotland thing?
Was it The Last King of Scotland?
It might have been. And he said it took him years to come away from that because he's like, it got him to the point where, and I've never seen that show.
Same.
I've never seen that movie. But he was like, I was acting that way towards people that I love. And it was kind of like pushing people away. And I'm like, God damn. For a chick?
Yeah, and it fucked Jim Carrey up too, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think it's the greatest thing. And I know like some
they keep winning awards for this shit.
I don't know.
So
I don't know.
Jim Carrey won an award for Man on the Moon, and I never watched it. Never seen it. And I was like,
Didn't see
and
it.
it fucked him up. Last King of Scotland, got an Oscar for that. Hey, Heath Ledger got an Oscar for that. I forgot.
Posthumous.
Yeah. Got an Oscar for that. What's his name? Daniel Day-Lewis. He got an Oscar for Lincoln, and apparently he's a method actor. So I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's the right way to do it at all.
Yeah.
Because it sounds terrible.
I don't know. Maybe people are just in it to win awards. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean,
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think it's, if that's your way to do it, that's fine.
I mean, it's not though.
And as someone who, but in my opinion, it's not fine.
Right.
And my opinion is worthless.
Not to me.
And not to me either.
There it
and I
is.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Thank you for the validation.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I can appreciate your opinion. But that was my first like.
it makes me happy.
Shit.
I almost had
Yeah.
Sherry Cole's slushy come out of my nose.
No.
Okay. My turn? All right. The next thing I wrote was, I just wrote echolocation effects, but I thought by and large the effects in this movie were good.
They weren't
They
bad.
looked good to me. His eyes changing, the like little, I don't know if they're like the fibers in his ear or just like the skin on his ears moving
That
every
was
time he
so
was like
good.
doing the echolocation. The way that everything just kind of like,
When it slowed down.
when the thing slowed down looked good. When he was doing the echolocation and everything was kind of like wavy, almost looked like it was on fire.
It's like reverberating.
Like pulsating, and it looked really good. I really liked that.
I agree. 100%. I didn't think the effects were lacking. For the most part.
Yes,
I didn't think.
for the most
For
part,
the most part.
because I do have something on that later.
I think I do too, but yeah. So, yeah, for the most part though.
Like those effects and like them transforming back and forth to their vampire forms, I thought that looked pretty good too.
I didn't have a problem with that either.
Because it was often like just very like in some cases it was instantaneous when like, and he was vampire and then he wasn't, but like when at the end,
when
after
he
he stuck him and like dude like slowly transformed back into himself.
He did too though.
Yeah, they both did. Yeah,
I was like, oh.
good, and the camera was like right up on his face too, and it looked good.
And just, I kept looking at the nose. I was
Yes, yeah,
like, oh, he's turning back.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the rest of his face.
yeah. It looked
Yeah,
good to me.
it was good. I agree with that.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. I agree with that.
Yeah.
My second like, I just put Marvel's Batman origin. And since we already spoiled Michael Keaton,
No, we didn't spoil Michael Keaton.
we did. The trailer did, but which I forgot about. To be fair,
I wish I had.
the only thing that could have made this movie better is if Michael Keaton went up to Morbius and was like, you know, I'm something of a Batman myself. How much would you have laughed?
I would have laughed.
Yeah, of course you would have laughed. This is a good line.
Of course I would have.
I think you would have laughed and you'd have been pissed.
I would have laughed and I would have been angry at myself for it.
It's a good line.
But I still would have laughed.
I listen, I'm trying out here, but it was a good line. I was like, I thought about it when you were doing the cast. I was like, I'll wait. But anyway, yeah, this is Marvel's Batman origin. He did the perching on the top of a building like once or twice. The echolocation thing was pretty sweet. It was better than the Dark Knight's echolocation thing. I really couldn't stand that part of the Dark Knight.
Oh, where he like summoned the swarm of bats.
No. In the Dark Knight, when they do the echolocation for to find Joker at the end, and because Morgan Freeman's at the city. They use the cell phones.
Oh, yeah, it like maps the whole city for him.
That.
Really?
I didn't like the way it looked.
That's fair.
I was like,
I don't remember how it looked.
It just looked weird. I get why it looked the way it looked.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't like it. Like, I want to see regular.
I thought that location in this movie looked fucking cool.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Summoning the bats was even better, personally. I mean, that's my next like also. But that's just me. But yeah, that's my second like.
Okay.
I don't know why I wrote that, but I did. Whatever. I said it already.
My next like, Stroud and Rodriguez. I like them. The agents.
Detective hilarious.
Yeah. Because they were definitely doing like, you know, straight cop, funny cop.
Facts.
Whether they were trying to or not.
Oh, they definitely were.
But Rodriguez was like, "Oh, you're a doctor. You know what people look like inside."
Which is great.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. Because again, this was a movie that it wasn't like your typical Marvel thing where everyone's like zingers, witty banter. Everyone's got a little comment.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that, and that's fine.
That's okay.
Because the Venom movies weren't really like that either, but they were still funny.
Yeah.
Because it was mostly Tom Hardy like making an ass of himself because he was possessed by a fucking space alien.
Fair.
And trying to appear like he wasn't.
That is fair.
And in this one, it was fairly dark and pretty serious overall. I forget what we started talking about and why I'm talking about this now.
Detectives.
Oh yeah, they were good. They were like the source of comedy, and they weren't like. Not to say they weren't hilarious, because they were pretty damn funny, but they weren't like all the time. Like every 5 minutes, they weren't showing up and cracking the line and then disappearing again.
So Al, I knew he looked familiar and I couldn't place him. Al Madrigal is a comedian and he used to be on The Daily Show.
Okay.
And I was like, he looks so familiar and his voice is so familiar. And then when I saw his name, I was like, I know exactly who that is. I like that guy. He's funny as shit. But yeah, that's what I wrote that too. Detective hilarious. Because I didn't know their names. I couldn't tell you their names.
I had to wait for the cast to show, or for the credits, and then looking at the cast also to like really get it down. But yeah, I thought they were good. I like them.
Fair. My next night, this is what I put, but I'm gonna add to it. The name Lucian / Underworld, which I love. What? Is that what you're thinking? What I was thinking about?
It sounds like a vampire name.
Okay, so in Underworld, Lucian was the werewolf. So that's why I was like, oh, he's gonna be that guy. I was like, that's a werewolf thing. Like,
he's got an evil name.
Yeah, I was like, he's the opposite. I was like, Underworld had I can't think of her name, but it had her.
Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah, Kate Beckinsale. It had the guy.
And Bill Nighy.
Bill Nighy. Yeah. Love it. So good. So good. But yeah, so it was. What am I talking about? Oh, Lucian. So yeah, Lucian. I was like, okay, I like the name Lucian though. I'm like, Milo. It sounds like a dog. Ugh, gross.
Milo and Otis.
I don't know who that is. But is that Garfield?
Dog movie.
Oh. I was like, is that Garfield? I like Otis. I like, it's Odie.
It's Odie,
yes. Anywho, it is about to be Monday. I had to bring it back around.
There you go.
Yeah, Lucian. I don't know. I think I like Lucian.
Same.
He was kind of funny after he turned into a vampire as well. He was just like living, listen, if I have a debilitating disease and we found the cure and now I can fly, I'm moonwalking too. My guy was like,
Spider-Man 3. It was Spider-Man 3.
It really was. Papa's got a
for a little bit at least. For a little bit at least.
A little bit.
He's doing the dance and everything, and then he was like, wow, like flashing like in the mirror, like turning into a vampire real quick, and then like fixing his tie and shit.
He killed 3 people and was just like,
yeah.
this could be you.
I liked him too, honestly. He made my list.
Yeah, and then when he was getting, like, cleaning himself up and stuff, like, he was like, I was like, all right.
Yeah, because if he went from being on a cane and being sickly as shit to being ripped and also, like, in perfect health. Granted, it was a fucking vampire monster. But, like, he super strong, super fast, you can fly, you can have abs, all this kind of shit.
Same.
And, yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm going to dance it up.
All the things the little boys want.
I'm going to dance up a little bit.
Yeah, so now you know the plot twist of The Usual Suspects, right?
No. Are they vampires?
No.
Okay.
Usual Suspects it's about Kaiser Soze. Have you heard of that name?
Yeah, no, yes. The name sounds familiar.
So at the end of the movie, somebody's like walking and they're like walking weird. It was also a scary movie too. But they were walking weird and all of a sudden they started walking straight because it turns out they're the bad guy. And I know you'll probably never watch it, but I still don't want to give it away because it's like the greatest twist in history. Even though people, like, I knew it was coming. You're a fucking liar. You're a fucking liar. You fucking liar. I hate people who tell me I knew that. Well, don't watch movies with me then. Because I don't give a shit. But anyway. But yeah, so basically the one good guy was the bad guy all along, basically. And so, like, he's walking down the street and he has like a limp. And then, like, halfway through the street, he's like, like walking straight, and it's like, it was him all along, and it's so good, it's amazing, and I would say watch it. Usual Suspects is a great movie, one of my favorite movies, top 5 all time at least. I can watch it any day of the week, anytime, twice on Sunday if I have time. But anyway, that happened with Milo. Milo was like, I thought he still had the cane. I
didn't notice it either, and he left it in the cell.
Wasn't even looking for the cane. He gave him the bag of blood. And I was like, well, how do you get that in here? And then he was like, howdy do, guys. Yeah. Like, he's walking out,
limped out and pulled that flask out of his pocket.
And he was like, sorry. He was like, I got a flask. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's like never too early.
That's not okay. You're not supposed to.
In prison.
In a jail.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not even like something like, hey guys, don't worry, it's just my flask. Like, they were like, okay. No, you would be shot on the spot.
It's just liquor. It's just a controlled substance in a prison. Don't worry about it.
I was like, that's hilarious. And then, like, he just walked out like, boo-doo-doo.
Yeah.
Good.
And his face, like, kind of grayed up for a little bit on his way out. And that's because it very briefly, like, did it. And then I think he pulled the flask out and drank. And I was like, oh, what?
That's fair. Now I'm thinking that flask was blood.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even think that until just now.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't even notice that his face wasn't, like, wilted and shit or whatever you want to call it. But I noticed, first off, I thought it was 2 different actors. Let me tell you that right now. I was like, who's this young kid? And I was like, I get why they got another actor. And I'm like, wait, was that the same actor? I was like, why wouldn't it be? Because Jared Leto's the same. But this guy looked like he was 55. Then this 20-year-old spry guy comes out doing the fucking what is that bartender movie with Tom Cruise? Like, comes across
Cocktail.
Yeah. I was like, hey, this guy's doing a Ferris Bueller Days Off in his underwear. I was like, this is good. But yeah, Milo, Lucian, he was good. He was really good.
He was.
And I did not mind him as a villain.
I liked him.
He had a lot of charisma.
I liked him. Yeah, he was just like a hedonistic villain. He was like, well, I couldn't do anything. What did he say? Like, we've both lived our lives like with death hanging over us. Let someone else give that a try.
Fair.
Like, let's make everyone else feel that for a minute. I'm like, well, first that's fucked up.
But he's a villain.
But yeah, he's a villain.
He's a villain. Villain gonna villain.
Villain's gonna villain, and he did it.
He did. He was fucking them cops up.
Yeah.
I applaud it. But he was fucking them cops up.
He did.
I didn't. First off, okay, the 2 cops I know he killed. I was like, damn. But the 3 that he like punched, I didn't know he killed them. And then like we pull up, and the one dude Rodriguez, he was like, it's a damn shame or something. He said. I was like, 6 cops dead. It should be more than a damn shame. Like, oh, to be like how it is in real life. Every cop should be on that fucking scene. So, I mean, shit. He was acting like it was a school full of kids that got shut up. The way he was like, this is nothing.
Yeah.
We're in America, guys.
Yeah, he's out there cracking wise. Like, I'll get the security camera footage. I'll get it so you don't have to move or anything. I was like, this guy.
Hilarious, dude.
I was like, this guy's. He doesn't give a shit. He's like, I'm surrounded by dead bodies. What are you going to do?
Same.
Or apparently the only 2 capable police officers in this town at this time.
In New York City.
In New York. Only in New York, yeah.
New York City? Where do you get that saucer from?
New York City.
Your voices are top notch, by the way. I keep trying to tell you, man. Good shit. That was a great Southern hillbilly
salsa commercial guy.
Rojo neck. Yeah, it was a good sound.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was a compliment.
Thank you.
Anyway, that was my last. No, I got one more like, but I'll let you go.
That's the last thing that I wrote down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the last bat scene I thought was great. When he did the echolocation, when he screamed out like Superman when he died and opened up the mother boxes of bats, I was like, ooh. And I knew exactly what was about to happen. As soon as he screamed out, I was like, oh, he's calling the bats.
Same.
But I wanted the glass to break and I wanted to see it. Then when he had his hand in the water, I was like, what's he doing? But then I was like,
Jurassic Park, baby.
See, that's what I was like. Okay, I was like, is he doing that?
Is there a T-Rex in this movie?
See, I thought because his hand was in the water.
Yeah.
And I thought he was doing that to like tell him where he was at still. But then when the other guy saw it, Milo, he was looking and I was like, oh wait, is that the reverberation from the bats?
I think it was, yeah.
And the bats were great. I was like, good. Because I think someone told me in the comics he can control bats. I think that's what I was told. And so, great. Loved it. He had a kinship with the bats. He showed that throughout the movie.
Yeah, and they said it earlier in the movie, too.
They set it up, and they paid it off.
Yeah.
I can't ask for anything else.
And that was the part that I noticed in the news thing. In the news ticker, it said, like, subway station, whatever street subway station closed due to bat infestation. And I was like, I wonder if that'll come up. And then he did the thing at the end. I was like, hey.
So now, was it bats or was it his bats?
They just said bats.
No. Forget the subway thing. I'm saying the ones he called.
I'm guessing they were just bats.
I thought they were his bats.
I mean, maybe. But I mean, his ones, as far as I know, his ones are still in that tube in the lab. And there were not that many.
That's fair.
There were not that many of him. Because he, like, lifted that man up off the ground with him.
And that's the thing too. I know it sounds terrible. See, okay, here's the thing about Marvel and comics and all this other stuff. Because we talked about it. I was telling my sister this, and I was like, I think because me and you talked about it. So I was telling my sister this. I was like, people aren't really liking the new Marvel the way it's headed. I was like, because the people who liked it for a certain reason. Now they're switching it up, including a little bit of diversity, and people are, throwing a fit. But what's really interesting to me is when you get some of the insane characters, I think people are going to flip about those too. But you can only do so much.
Like who?
There's a ketchup and mustard guy in DC.
Oh, Condiment King.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I agree. But like, what if they brought him to the real? Yeah.
But he exists.
He exists. So when you see Ant-Man controlling ants, and you see
Batman.
Morbius. I was about to say Batman. You know it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Batman.
Yeah.
There's a comma.
And not Man-Bat, because that's a different thing also.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah. And so when you get all this, I'm like, oh, okay, like, we can open this wide up. But will we? And I just like it. It gives a different, like, oh, everybody's not strong and fast and this and this. Oh, then you got the rat catcher in fucking DC. I forgot about her.
She's pretty sweet, actually.
She was super sweet with the fucking rats.
Yeah.
As much as I hate rats, I was like, get them. Stay away from me, but get them. But yeah, so like you got that, you got the ants, you got the bats. I'm like, this is great that they can do shit like this because it opens it up. Because now to me and whatever, not to me personally, but what everyone says, you don't have like a Superman problem or what is now an Iron Man problem. Not everybody has a lot of tech. Not everybody's a genius, even though Morbius is. But not everybody's a genius, and not everybody's super strong. Mm. So yeah, let them control some animals to do their bidding. I'm cool with that.
But he is also super strong.
He is also super strong. I agree. But I'm just saying, there's more to him than that.
Yeah.
The echolocation thing, come on. That's amazing. That's like spider sense.
And it looks sweet too.
Yeah, like the slow, like I know we don't like slow down here, but the slow down scenes and when everything was like in slow motion a little bit, and he could see it before it was happening, or at least it was like spider sense. Because when Milo was like attacking him from the back, he kind of was like, oh, and then he got fucked up right after, but he dodged 2 punches. Okay,
the third one will get you.
The third one will get you all the time. But yeah, so okay, that was my likes. Let's go dislikes.
All right,
I'll let you go first.
I have a couple.
Ooh.
Okay. So
I got one.
So I know I said I liked the effects.
Okay.
I did like the effects, except for I didn't like the weird like vapor trail thing going on behind him every time he was like moving fast or flying. I didn't like it.
Okay.
I didn't think it was necessary. Also, at first I thought it was like, oh, it's just him. It's like just the way that like they're making it look for our benefit or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then it showed up on the fucking security camera footage when Milo like dropped down on those people and that like fucking cloud of shit like fell down behind him. I was like, I already didn't really care for it, and then I saw it on there. I was like, I really don't like it.
Okay.
I didn't like it because it wasn't even like, because the first time it happened, it was all black because he was wearing all black apparently. And I was getting like Nightcrawler vibes. And I was like, I know that's not what it is because I know he doesn't teleport. That's not his thing. But like it looked like smoky or like ashy or vapory or whatever. I was like, I don't really dig that. And then when he was in his orange prison jumpsuit and he jumped out the fucking window and it was like bright orange trailing behind him, I was like, I don't like that either. And then at the end, it was like black and purple from what he was wearing. I was like, I couldn't get into that.
That's fair.
I thought it was a little, I thought it was maybe a little distracting.
That's okay. I understand.
I didn't care for it.
I did like it, but I understand because of my dislike. So I get it. It makes sense.
Okay. So what's your dislike?
Oh, too many cuts. Too many cut sequences. When they were fighting, I could barely understand what the fuck was going on. I was like, and then that trail just made it harder to keep up.
Yes.
And I was just like, oh.
Especially when they were like smashing through shit.
Yeah.
You literally couldn't have told me what was happening. You would have had to tell me what was happening because it just was like vapor trail and like rocks and shit. I was like, I don't know what's happening.
And especially they had the Matrix Revolution problem and not the Superman, the Man of Steel problem. Well, Man of Steel didn't have a problem. It was perfect. But it because I remember we talked about it. Man of Steel's fight was better than Matrix Revolution's fight at the end because you had 2 people flying and they were hitting. The Man of Steel fight was great. You saw everything, even when they were moving fast or whatever. You still saw everything. Everything was good and it was up close and it was whatever. But then the Matrix Revolution fight, it was kind of hard to see sometimes, and the raining didn't help. The green background didn't really help either. This was that. I was like, I get it because we're just doing special effects at this point because obviously neither of them can fly.
Yeah.
So I get it, but man, you've had better effect. But also, this is Sony, not Marvel.
Yeah.
So
not Disney Marvel at least.
Not Disney Marvel.
Yeah.
But shit, Man of Steel wasn't Disney Marvel. It was just Marvel, or it was DC.
Yeah.
So still. But yeah, so I mean, that in itself, I was like, this fight could have been so much better if I knew what the fuck was happening.
And it's not that I thought that necessarily looked bad. I just thought it was distracting. I thought it was too much.
No, I agree.
At that point, especially at that point, I thought it was doing too much.
For me, when he was like jumping out of windows and shit, it didn't bother me. But when they were fighting, especially when he was fighting with Milo,
who was also doing it,
it was a lot.
Yeah.
So I agree with you, at least on that part. I do agree, and that was just too much for me, and I was like, ugh, this could be better. and it's not.
Okay.
And that's it. That was my dislike. That's my only dislike I could think of.
Okay.
So what you got?
It kind of just ended.
Yeah.
Like he killed Milo, which is what he said he was gonna do, and that was just it. Like he flies out of the hole that they were in. His girlfriend wakes up from not being dead. He doesn't go back for
Matter
her.
of fact, I got another dislike.
He doesn't go back for her. I wasn't surprised that she woke up. I was expecting it, to be honest. But like she wakes up and he's not aware of it suddenly, because he picked up her sounds from specifically her from the other side of fucking town in New York City.
Made me think of Superman. I was like,
But yeah, like
I couldn't suspend my belief that far. I was like, no.
It just ended. I thought it was weird because like he beat the bad guy, and there was nothing further as far as like, oh well, you know, what do I do now? They didn't even ask that question because they were like, I won. Credits. And I was like, that's okay. I didn't like it.
You know what I think their thought process was the other two scenes.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, that's how we're gonna finish it, which was not.
Which was also weird.
It shouldn't have been, and we didn't even talk about those, but yeah.
Oh, we're gonna.
Fair.
We're gonna. But that was my dislike, was that just the abrupt ending.
Okay.
With no like real resolution for me, at least.
My dislike is I forgot that she woke back up. I meant to write it down and I didn't. Why did she wake back up?
I was expecting it.
I get you're expecting it, but why?
I don't know.
Not good enough for me.
Because I'm guessing she's now a vampire.
But why isn't everybody a vampire? That got bit?
My guess is because she drank his blood before he bit her. That's my guess.
I guess that's fine. It's not, but are you okay with that?
What?
Like, are you good with that? Like that premise?
Yeah. Some vampires. I'm not gonna tell you I've seen every bit of vampire media.
Me neither.
But there's a million fucking vampire rules. Some of them fly. Some of them fly by turning into bats. Some of them
sparkle in the sun.
Yeah, some of them sparkle and then become Batman. Some of them some of them can fucking hypnotize you by looking at you. Some of them look like Billy Idol. Some of them look like fucking Leslie Nielsen in a wig. Some of them are like parasite monsters full of worms and shit. And there's a million different kinds of fucking vampires out there.
That's fair.
So, I mean...
How many vampires I don't know about?
I mean, yeah. Some of them live in the fucking South. And are named Bill. Vampire Bill. Shooky. Bill Compton. From True Blood. How many damn vampires am I supposed to pretend to care about these days?
He had a great boy. I was like, facts. I only care about a couple vampires. Underworld.
Blade.
So let me tell you what I really thought.
Count Chocula.
Wait, I'll let you do your... I was going to say.
The Count.
Oscar.
He wears a lot of purple.
And he's an accountant.
Did you make this? Good work, Cookie Monster. It's like the fifth episode that we've mentioned that in. But it's especially relevant now because it's talking about vampires.
Boom. I'll let you get your dislike because I had a wait. Before I forget, let me talk about it. I guess because I just forgot it. I know it. You go. You got another dislike?
Yes.
Go ahead. Do it.
The trailer spoiled Michael Keaton being in it.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even in the movie proper. He was in the credit scenes. Both of them.
Yeah, he was in 2 credit scenes.
Which I thought was a little
much.
Not excessive to have 2 credit scenes because they're all fucking doing it nowadays. Yeah. But for one of the post-credit scenes to be suddenly I was awake in jail as Michael Keaton in a new universe. And he's instantly like, huh. this is where I am now.
He's
He's like, hope the food's good here. And I'm like, what the fuck? You literally are like
Right.
in another universe.
Right.
Which, whatever. They've all dealt with some wild shit in the MCU. He's lucky to still exist. That's the first. I'm not even gonna say spoiler alert because we said it earlier. The first credit scene is Michael Keaton appearing in the Sonyverse. You see the cracks and you see the fucking sky open up, and then he materializes in an empty prison cell. The second scene is Michael drives out to the middle of fucking nowhere at almost 3 a.m, and not Michael Keaton, even though he is him, the Vulture flies out in the middle of the fucking night in the desert.
Brand new suit Vulture too.
With his suit. I was like, okay, so he's done some work since arriving. And he's like, oh, we should team up.
In-game? Like,
I don't know. He's like, you and I, a couple guys like us, we could do some. He said we
well,
could do some.
he name dropped.
Yeah, he's like, I'm probably here because of Spider-Man. I was like, interesting dots to connect, but go on.
Right.
And then he's like, a couple guys like us, we could do some good. And Michael Morbius is instantly like, what does he say? Like, I'm listening, or go on, or something, or I'm interested. Whatever he said.
I was tuned out at that point.
It's a dislike for me because the trailers spoiled that Michael Keaton was involved at all.
I'm telling you, man.
It wasn't even the scene that was in the trailers.
There's a couple scenes in the trailer that wasn't in the movie.
Because in the trailer, he says, like something along the lines of, oh, Dr. Morbius, we should keep in touch, or something like that. Yep. That wasn't in the movie. And that's fine.
You know what?
Because fool me if you want.
I wonder if he was supposed to have been in prison before that.
Because when Michael Morbius was in jail, I was expecting to see Michael Keaton, and because we knew he was in it, and it was you could tell from the trailer scene that he was in a prison setting.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool. And then he didn't show up, and I was like, okay, weird. And then he was in both credit scenes. I was like, come on, you giving him 2? You're gonna give this man 2?
I agree.
Credit scenes. Not that he doesn't deserve it, but also he doesn't deserve it because,
right.
And this part is just my own expectations. I was expecting Venom to show up in one of those credit scenes because he name dropped him. He said, "I'm Venom," which we also saw in the fucking trailers.
Which we saw in the trailer, but it was different in the trailer.
It was different, and it wasn't funny in the trailer, and it wasn't funny in this. It wasn't supposed to be funny in this one. In the trailer, I feel like it was supposed to be funny.
Right. Because he doesn't. He goes, no, I'm just kidding.
He's like,
oh,
Dr. Morbius.
Yeah. And then in this one, he was just like, I'm Venom. And I was like,
I also don't get it.
I was expecting like, oh, I'm just joking. I'm like,
yeah.
Did he not? I was like, this is dumb. So that's another dislike.
I was expecting Venom to show up in one of these credit scenes. So it's not fair to call it a dislike because my own expectations were not met. But I was expecting it. Because why would you name drop him? We already know they're set in the same universe. We already know that because Sony has said that.
Yeah.
And Sony's clearly stated we're doing villain movies to set up a fucking team-up movie again. Because they've already got another one cooking.
Of what?
Villain. Another villain movie.
Ooh.
Kraven the Hunter.
Ooh.
And you know who's playing him?
Channing Tatum.
No. God, no.
I don't know.
He's not Cajun. No, Aaron Taylor Johnson is going to be playing.
Oh, I did hear about that. Can we let him go? Like, I mean, I'm not saying he's bad, but all right, he's been like 3 people so far. I don't care. Give me somebody different. Give me Henry Cavill as Kraven the Hunter. Somebody had.
He could regrow a mustache.
It's not me. It's Josh Whedon, idiot ass.
Terrible.
Somebody was like, "Oh, I don't know if it was an article. I don't know if it was like a Twitter thing. I don't remember." But they were like, "Henry Cavill wants to be in the MCU. This is where we think he would fit." And they had Henry Cavill in the Cyclops uniform, and I was like, I don't know.
They just got to do him good though, because Cyclops is not the X-Men
He's
trilogy.
not a simp.
Cyclops is not X-Men trilogy. Who made those
Bryan
movies.
Singer.
Yeah.
He made 2 of them. I think somebody else made the...
That is not Cyclops.
No.
Like, that is not all Cyclops is. Cyclops is not a fucking cuck.
No. He isn't.
Beta male.
Beta male.
Beta
He's
male.
not.
Who gets, gets sad and looks at a lake and then fucking dies. I mean, granted, everybody's fucking died in the comics and come back a million times, so that doesn't matter. But yeah, I wouldn't be mad at him.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I don't know anything about Kraven the Hunter, but
I wouldn't be mad at Superman being Cyclops.
I don't know if I want to see an origin story of Kraven the Hunter though.
We're gonna.
Are we? We almost didn't see Morbius, so I don't know.
We didn't, because I asked you. I was like, "You want to see Morbius?" And you were like, "If you want to." And I was like, "Oh, Keith doesn't want to." I said to Megan, "I was like, Keith doesn't want to see this movie, and I kind of feel bad, but I want to see it."
No, it's fine. It's fine. I just was like, I don't like when things get ruined for me, and everybody trashed this movie from the moment it came out.
Yeah.
And I saw so much on TikTok. I saw so much on everything, and I was just like, well, now I have a preconceived notion going into it, and it's not anyone's fault, but
It's some people's fault.
well, no, not them. I'm talking about like us not going to go see it that week or whatever because I think we were busy or something.
Well, the week it opened,
The Sonic came
we
out
went
too?
and saw Sonic.
Yeah. So that's what it was. So
Or it was the week after. I forget.
I thought it was the week after.
Something happened. We just didn't. And we didn't get together.
I think the week it came out, I had to work. I
Yeah.
think that's what happened, which is fine.
Or we watched Spider-Man. One or the other.
Oh, we did watch Spider-Man.
Yeah.
No, I think I had to. Yeah, I think we watched Spider-Man. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Something more important was going on than watching Morbius.
Yes. Either it was Spider-Man or it was Sonic or it was life.
Or work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which isn't that important, but I had to make that money.
Right.
But yeah, I also, yeah, I didn't want to see it. But the 2 things I just gotta remember this because I'm trying not to forget it. So 2 things. 1, the Venom thing pissed me off because I forgot about it, and then I remembered it, and that's a dislike. 2, I was like, I had a dream. I'm not Martin Luther King, but I had a dream, and my dream was tied into. There was so much going on in this dream. That's neither here nor there. But the dream about this movie was they only made this movie to kill off Morbius. That was the dream, and I thought it was fucking amazing.
Well, like to introduce him and kill him in the same movie?
Yes. I was like, oh, in my dream, movie played. I don't remember what happened because obviously whatever. And the end credit scene, everyone's like, what do we do? What do we do? Blade shows up.
Honestly,
that
was another thing that I was expecting was to see Blade or another, at least like maybe not even see him, but just like a tease of him.
And like I was like, if Blade shows up, I'm here.
Yeah.
And he has to kill him, and then we get a Blade movie next. And I was like, that was my dream. I'm not saying I should be a movie maker, but also that's how my dream went, and I was happy.
You woke up happy?
I was like, yeah, all right. All right. I went back to sleep, but I was like, all right. Because I wanted more. I was like, what else? What happens to Doctor Strange? Like, talking to myself. But I didn't get that far. So, but yeah, I thought it was going to set it up. So then, and now, it's a disappointment that the whole multiverse thing happened in this movie because Venom's was way better.
Oh, the Venom, the Let There Be Carnage credit scene? Oh, definitely.
Way better. And in this one, they showed the sky breaking just like in No Way Home. And I was like, oh.
Yes.
And they show Michael Keaton, which I totally forgot about. And I was like, oh. And then I was like, okay, that was it. And then he showed back up, and I was like, where did the suit come from? Because that suit is tore up in his universe. Where's it at in this universe? And how did he get it? And I had questions, and there haven't been any answers. And he got that suit from cleaning it up from the Avengers, which was 2012. It is now officially 2023.
25, I think, at least.
No, it's only been 5 years since Endgame, right?
Yes.
I think.
I forget. I'm not sure what the year is because in the last movie, in No Way Home, they covered up the year on May's gravestone. Like it just said 20, and then there's like a flower or a plant or something. So I don't know. I don't know what the year is.
Think about it. No Way Home was directly after Far From Home, which was right after the blip. Remember, because they all went back to school.
Was it right after? Because they showed the flashback of it, but I forget like what the time.
Yeah, because the cousin was 5 years older, the one that was in school, and it was their senior trip. Yeah, and then they were trying to get into college right after, so it should still be 2023. It should be. Where'd the suit come from, though?
I don't know.
Because it's been 12 years since
I don't know
the events of New York.
In another universe.
In another universe. So, yeah.
I don't know.
Exactly. So, I'm trying to figure out. So, that's my thing. There's a lot.
Like, if at the end of each of these movies in the Sonyverse, we get the same basic scene of, like, sky cracks open and someone else comes through, I guess that's fine.
I'm not
But
gonna...
in one movie... In No Way Home, we got sky cracks open. We got before the sky cracked open, we got 2 Spider-Men and 4 other villains, and 4 villains came through. And in this one, the sky cracked open. And granted, we only saw one person. Doesn't mean they only got one. But if each of these movies ends with like one more person coming through, this is going to take a minute to set up. And Marvel is good at that. Marvel's good at the long setups.
Yeah, but I'm not interested.
But at a certain point, like it's just here's another villain.
Because with Thanos,
here's another villain.
At least with Thanos, I didn't really get that interested.
No, like at all.
Throughout, I was like, oh, who's this guy? Forgot about him after next Avengers movie. Oh shit, he's back. Forgot about him. Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh yeah, that guy.
Did you already know who he was when you? Oh, okay.
No, but I knew he was important. And then when he was like, I have to do it myself, that was Guardians of the Galaxy. I was like, I don't know what any of this means. And everybody knew about Infinity War. Keith did not. So after Ragnarok, when that ship came down, it wasn't until the last time I watched Ragnarok, I was like, hey, that's his ship. I was like, oh shit. I watched this 5 times. Never knew. I just thought it was a random ship. I didn't know it was Thanos' ship. And then I was like, okay, cool. And then... So, yeah, I didn't know about Thanos at all. So, like, seeing that, I was like, oh. It just surprised me at the time. It made me more interested every time I saw it. This doesn't make me interested because I don't know if Spider-Man's coming. And it's not like, oh, he could be coming. I don't know if he is.
And that's part of the reason that I'm worried about all these villain setups. It's like, cool, all these villains are Spider-Man villains.
Right.
Does that mean that in one movie...
He's going to have to fight all these villains?
Who don't know who he is except for... Michael Keaton,
right? That's dumb.
Unless the rest of them suddenly know who he is, and that's the other thing is in my mind there are 2 possible outcomes of these things culminating in more Spider-Mans. Either an existing Spider-Man actor is going to reprise their role, or we're going to get a new Spider-Man actor. In either case, I will watch.
No, fair. And I know we got to do another Spider-Man. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. If you don't give me Miles Morales, I'll send it back.
At some point, yes.
Like, I think this should be Miles Morales' turn.
Fighting all the villains?
Yeah,
or just like in...
They don't know who Peter Parker is.
That's fair. There's no Spider-Man.
So now you have a reason for them not to know who Spider-Man is.
I mean, some of them don't even know who fucking Spider-Man is. Morbius doesn't know what a Spider-Man is.
Venom doesn't know what a Spider-Man is.
Yet.
He did because of the... But Venom does. Tom Hardy doesn't. Or
nope.
Whatever his name is. Yeah. Eric Bishop.
Eric Bischoff.
No.
Eddie Brock.
Eric Bishop is Jamie Foxx, by the way. So I don't know where I got that from. That's his real name.
Oh.
I don't know why.
That's not a bad name.
But I almost did say Eric Bischoff, and I don't know why I almost said that. But yeah, Eddie Brock. But that's the thing. Like, so at least here's the thing, Sony. I'm giving you a way out. Do Miles Morales just so that we could get a Spider-Man into this movie, into this verse, right? Where there is no current Spider-Man technically, because he's in the MCU, which I know they're kind of a part of it, but that's stupid.
They're
Whatever.
like parallel, but not.
Yeah, it's
But they
dumb.
don't overlap until they do.
Yeah, so that's what you need to do. Bring in Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and be like, hey, you don't know this kid. Because nobody knows who Miles Morales was except for the Prowler after he got killed. At least in Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But you know what I was thinking? That's what I was thinking. Because, you know, I'll be having good dreams. And I'll be having good ideas. Across the Spider-Verse Part 1.
Honestly.
Looks so good. Can't wait. Across the Spider-Verse Part 2.
Live action.
He goes, yes.
We
Yes.
mentioned this in the No Way Home episode. I just listened to it
Did
the
we?
other day. You or I or both of us was like, with the Spider-Verse movies coming out, with the one that's already here and the ones that are coming out, if some of those characters show up in these things, I would not be mad about it. Because I think I mentioned it. I was like, if we were talking about the voice acting stuff, because Haley Steinfeld voiced Gwen in the first one, or Spider-Gwen in the first one, and she plays Kate Bishop in the Hawkeye show. And I was like, it doesn't have to be the same person, because if Nicolas Cage isn't Spider-Man Noir, I'm not going to lose my mind. But if he is, I will lose my mind, because that'd be great. If he takes off that fucking mask, he's like, oh,
He got his gold guns.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a cat. I'm a sexy cat.
But yeah, no, that's just a way out. Like, okay, and this is my thought process. And I think it was when I saw it today. I was like, oh, okay. Across the Spider-Verse, we saw the $29.99 Spider-Man. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, what if at the end of Part 2, because I forgot I said Part 1, then Part 1 came up. I was like, ooh, what if at the end of Part 2, he goes through the multiverse like he's been doing, like he did in the movie, and then he pops out live action. Like at the very end, though.
Yeah.
Like no other live action.
Yeah.
Boom. And now we got a new fucking Spider-Man.
And that would be insane.
Do that. I should be a fucking millionaire at this point.
I mean, they've
But I'm not.
already basically confirmed that he exists within the MCU.
I mean, cool, but
Because Uncle Aaron says he's got
everybody
a nephew in the
exists.
neighborhood.
Yeah, everybody exists, though.
Yeah.
I don't care about exists. I need to see evidence.
Also, when they said your lawyer's here,
I thought it was going to be
and it
Daredevil.
wasn't fucking Charlie Cox, I was like, oh.
I thought it was going to be Daredevil.
Because I had no reason to think that it would be.
No, fair.
Once they said lawyers, like,
I did too. I was
okay.
like,
because that would have been
And
too good.
I was like, who's this lawyer? And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, it's Milo.
yeah.
Why did they get a different actor?
I was like, this would have been too good. If you just showing up in every movie, like, here, your lawyer's here, and he just walks in, like, this is fine. This is perfectly fine
Come
with
on.
me.
He would have did it. He would have did it.
I would have loved it, but it
Fucking
didn't.
A.
But it didn't happen, and it's not a dislike, but it just didn't happen.
No, it's not this. Like, not for that at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm giving Sony some outs here.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it without them knowing who Peter Parker is.
Sony's got some outs. We'll see if they take them or not, or if they come up with better ones or worse ones,
Or if they just strike out.
or if they just stop making movies again because of an actor shows up hungover or jet lagged or both.
You think Michael Keaton won't be hungover? Okay. Anywho. All right, let's rate this son of a bitch.
Let's do it.
Slushie Meter. I'll let you go first. Or if you want me to go first, I'll go. It's up to you.
You can go first. I feel like I've had a number in my head from about the middle of the movie.
I feel like I had a number in my head too before the movie started.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Was it the same at the end of the movie?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I think it's tainted no matter what.
Okay.
I don't think I can go. There's no fresh number I have.
Okay.
So 3.5, maybe 3.75. I'm reluctant to give it a 4, and I don't know why. And I think that's where the taint part comes in at.
I agree.
That's what she
The
said,
the number that I had in my head while we were watching the movie was 3.5.
Okay, fair.
Not a bad score.
I don't think it's bad.
This is definitely not the movie or the quality of movie that I was made to believe it was.
It's not as terrible as everybody made
So many people are like, it's the worst comic book movie ever. It's the shittiest Marvel movie you're ever going to see in your life.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure they said that when the first Venom came out too.
Yeah.
And they'll probably say it when Sony makes their next movie.
Fair.
But everyone will still go see it.
That's also true.
Because, goddamn them.
I just really think people just don't like Jared Leto.
I mean, I'm one of them apparently.
Yeah.
But I still went and saw the movie.
Yeah, but I mean,
Because
you can be objective.
It's. I didn't go see it for him.
Morbius without Jared Leto, 5.
I went and saw it for the continuity, not necessarily. I went and saw it for continuity's sake.
Right.
Because it's curiosity. Like, I want to know what's going to happen. I want to know if, and then part of it's like a morbid curiosity, I want to know if Sony's going to fuck everything up for themselves.
Or shall we say a Morbius curiosity? You set me
God damn it.
You set me up.
All right. You son of a gun.
Sorry. But yes, I agree. I cut you off. I'm sorry. But I agree with you.
Yeah.
It is a curiosity. And even still, I was like, if Chris texts me that he doesn't want to go, I'm cool with that. Like at like 9:30, I got the text, or 9:45, you text me. I was like, I can turn around.
I was pleasantly surprised by this movie.
Same.
Because honestly, I went into it thinking it was there was no redeemable qualities, because that's granted, I didn't go in depth on any reviews because I didn't want to, because
same.
I don't want to do that for any movie I plan to see.
Same.
But just like between memes and headlines and everything, it was either this is the worst movie I've ever seen, or people like high-roading it and be like, oh, well, you're just used to the usual Marvel shit and you're just not used to this quality of movie. That you're used to light and funny and colorful and jokey, and this is not that. And I was like, cool, you can like more than one type of movie. And you can dislike more than one type of movie.
I've seen people say that about DC, like, oh, you're used to Marvel. Well, they're better. So.
Yeah, like, okay, well, they tried it with Shazam and it wasn't great.
Fair.
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great.
It wasn't the worst.
They tried like a lighthearted, funny, should have been more colorful movie, and they didn't do badly in it.
Suicide Squad was colorful and jovial for the most part. The second one.
Yes, I would agree.
And that was a lot better.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot better than the first one. The first Suicide Squad.
Well, it's better than Shazam, I think. I don't remember if I kind of feel like it was.
Yeah.
It was just too much Harley Quinn. I think that was our biggest gripe.
Yes. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, she died.
Because then they did Birds of Prey.
Again, too much Harley Quinn.
And that wasn't. It was another like in that style, like, oh, it's like lighter and more fun, and it still didn't do it for me. So I mean, there's both on both. Marvel's had the Thor movies, I would say, aside from Ragnarok, where they were still like kind of funny-ish here and there, but not to the level of the other movies.
No.
In my opinion, or if they were trying, they didn't reach it.
I think Thor was sufficiently funny.
The first one, I remember being more fun. I didn't remember being as funny, but then when we rewatched it before Endgame came out, we laughed a few times.
No, I agree. That's exactly what I was thinking about.
Dark World, however, was fairly bleak.
Well, his mom died.
Like, it had a couple moments where you're supposed to laugh, but it didn't make me laugh.
Fair. Ragnarok was fine.
Ragnarok was great.
Let me tell you, Taika Waititi, he's a genius.
He makes fun movies for me.
I watched some of the outtakes or bloopers from Free Guy with him in it. This man is a fucking maniac.
That wasn't a bad movie either.
It was okay.
It wasn't the movie I was expecting it to be.
I'm happy we didn't go see it in theaters.
Same.
Because I remember we kind of hyped it up.
We were planning to go see it because we couldn't, for a time, we couldn't go see a movie without seeing a trailer for that movie.
It was so many. That's the thing. I was like, God damn, this movie ain't out already.
Yeah.
But yes, it was fine. Honestly, I really liked Channing Tatum in that. I thought he was fucking hilarious. He was the new master. No, not new master. That's off Thor. He was he guarded the secret video that they needed. He was the guy. He was a kid.
Yes.
Who was, and then he was like dancing and shit. I was like, this is funny. It would look funny. And I'm like, he reminds me of when he was in Jump Street, and I like that. And now he's in another movie where he's a comedic role with Sandra Bullock. It's like something Island or something.
Yeah, it's like him and Daniel Radcliffe in it too.
Oh, I just saw Sandra Bullock. I like Sandra Bullock, so
it's like a weird, like Stranger Than Fiction type thing.
That's a good movie.
I don't like the main actor in
it. Who's the main actor? Oh, well, stop it.
And on that note,
no, that's a perfect place to stop.
Yeah.
Oh, every time with this guy.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. It's the best. Either way, so 3.5s all around?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Not racing ahead, not falling behind.
Yeah. Pretty even
Yeah.
kill for the most part. Yeah. Other than that, we will be back with more X-Men for you. I think we got, 2 more to watch before Strange comes out? If we do them. I don't know if we will, but...
Yeah.
Strange comes out first week of May, I think.
Yes.
What comes out the last week
I
of this
believe.
month? There's something else that comes out. I remember we talked about it. There's something that comes out, I think.
April?
I could be wrong. I think it might be a TV show I want to
At
watch.
the end of April? I don't think there was any.
The last season of Ozarks comes out at the end of April.
Oh, okay.
Just throwing it out there. Let you know.
Okay.
I totally knew about that. I was like, yeah, he said he couldn't get into it. I was like, the first episode when the guy was watching Bourne in his office, she was like, what?
I thought I told you guys that like at the same time, like both of you
I don't remember.
together.
I told you, I don't remember that. Like,
I thought I did because I thought I remember her reacting like, "What? You didn't like that?" I'm like, it's not that I didn't like it.
Like, but
I
like
think
you told
I
me-
was too busy like
Yep,
fucking around
that's
with my
what you said.
phone because
That's what I told
sometimes
her.
because
She was like, oh, I
sometimes
do that all the time.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah.
I don't like that I do it, but I know that I do it. When I'm like, oh, let's watch a show, I'm gonna fucking scroll on Facebook and not look at anything important. Yeah, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, fair. Not fair to you being an idiot.
No, that's completely fair.
That's okay.
But like maybe once it's all out, I'll give it another shot.
Either way, they don't pay me, so you don't have to.
They should.
I agree. I've been free promo on my own podcast.
Biggest Ozark fan I've ever
Delete
met.
that part. As a note to myself when I'm editing. Delete everything about Ozark because they're not paying you. Fuck it.
Yeah, no free rides here. Netflix.
I mean, maybe. If they sponsor, they could sponsor us for free. You don't have to pay me to sponsor me. Please do.
You could at least give us a membership or two.
Okay, I got one through my sister. That's fine.
I pay for mine, so you can give Chris a free Netflix membership.
Did your price go up too?
I don't look at that.
Oh, Richie Rich over here. No, I'm just
It's like $1 or $2. I mean, I probably should care for the amount of griping I saw people do online, but I was like, if $1 or $2 is gonna make me leave it, I wouldn't have it to begin with.
That's fair.
It was what, like $14.99, I think.
I thought it went up to 20.
Not too long ago, it was like $14.99, and then they've like steadily raised it here or there. Like, whatever, man. Like, it's just one of those things that I've had it forever. So
You're not gonna get cable, so what am I?
exactly.
I agree. But I don't really watch Netflix that much anymore. Either.
I don't either until I really do.
Yeah, until something's on there. Honestly, I stopped watching Netflix since Office went off, and I was like, okay. Honestly, I watch a lot of Peacock now.
Because I watch, Netflix is the place for me to watch Arrested Development. But I watch a show on there called The IT Crowd, hilarious. Community,
Community's on Hulu too.
yes, and it's also on Amazon Prime, I think.
No, I think so.
Seinfeld's on there now. I've been watching a lot of Seinfeld lately.
Yeah, I saw that. I scrolled by. I'm not interested.
What else is on there? That show you were telling me about, Ultimatum,
Yeah.
is on there. I have to watch that. Like, it's got stuff that I watch. But I'm right now. I'm in the middle of like a Netflix kick. I've gone easily months without watching it,
Facts.
and I'm like, man, I could probably get rid of that. But if I did, I know I'd be getting a phone call from somebody. So. It's and that's not the reason I don't cancel it. I don't cancel it because I don't think about it.
That's fair.
Because I have all these fucking streaming services that
Don't we all?
if I cancel them, it'll be more trouble to cancel it
I agree.
and then have to reactivate it. Like, oh, that show's gonna be on there.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it.
Yeah,
Just leave it.
I agree. Same. So I mean, I'm saying that as somebody who doesn't pay for any streaming services.
Fair, but I'm not rich, but I'm gonna act like it in this instance.
Well, I mean, I just don't pay for any. Well, I know that's a lie. I pay for Peacock, but still, it's not that much. It's like $10. So, and did I ever tell you that I was paying for the little? I was paying for the one with that.
the $5.99 one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Figure that one out. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. This is better. For the most part.
Yeah.
There's still some commercials, but it's better.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. But either way, that was young Morbius, Michael J. Morbius. I don't know his name. Like I said, next week we'll be getting to some more X-Men, and then we're just waiting for Doctor Strange to come out. And then after that, I think
After that, there's like a month or two until Thor comes out.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, I think it comes out in like June or July.
Oh, if that's the case, then right after that, Spider-Man Across the Universe comes on.
No, that's in like October.
I mean, that's like 3 months from July. So,
like for me, there's Doctor Strange, then there's Thor, and either before or right after that, or around the same time as that, the next Jurassic World movie comes out, which I'm interested in.
Fair.
I'm interested in that.
We gotta get some Jurassic Parks in here.
There's a few movies out now that I want to see, like that.
Death on the Nile.
No, not that I wouldn't mind seeing that.
I don't know.
But the what's it called? Like Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
I've heard that's incredible.
Yeah.
I know nothing about it other than the kid from Temple of Doom and the Goonies is all grown up and he's in it.
I've never seen it.
And I would like to see that.
So Michelle Yeoh's in it,
Mm-hmm.
and she was Shang-Chi's aunt.
Mm.
Yeah, that's Michelle Yeoh. She was also in Hidden Tiger, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Never seen it, but apparently that's where she got one of her biggest starts.
I think I've seen it, but it's been a long time.
I didn't want to watch it, but now I kind of do. After watching Shang-Chi, because that's kind of what they do. They call it wire fu.
Mm-hmm.
It looked good. But I was like, huh. I just thought it was like kind of cheap. I was like, yeah, this is dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, she said it was cheap. She was on a show that I watched, and she was a guest, and she's really insightful. I actually liked her. She was super cool. But I just remember in Shang-Chi, and she was just like, but apparently this movie's crazy. This movie's bananas. Like, at some point they have hot dog fingers. Yeah. And she was cracking the fuck up. She was like,
this movie, this Everywhere,
yeah,
Everything All at Once.
They have hot dog fingers.
I've heard that there's some wild, like,
Yes.
not that I know anything that happens in the movie, but I've heard that there's some off the wall crazy shit.
Yes.
Someone I follow on Twitter, this rapper, she said it's basically Rick and Morty for immigrants, and I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, but that's basically, yeah. Because at the end of this episode, because I watched it was called Jesus and Meryl, and they interviewed her. At the end of their episode, after they interviewed her, they all had like hot dog fingers and they were rubbing each other's faces. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, what the fuck? And they were like, have you seen the movie? I was like, oh, okay, I got to see this movie then.
Yeah, like that one looks interesting.
Now, where does that on?
What?
Is that in the movies or
only theaters?
Oh, okay, well.
That fucking
Maybe.
Brad Pitt on a train movie, that looks interesting.
Dude, that bullet train?
Yeah, that looks interesting because it's what him and is that Brian Tyree Henry?
Yeah.
And Gypsy Rose.
Yup.
And Scorpion.
Yeah.
That looks interesting to
Dude,
me.
I need more Kombat to come out.
I don't know if it's based on anything or what, but it looks pretty cool.
But I also just saw, I've been seeing like articles about Johnny Cage, and I'm like, I don't care. Because they haven't casted him yet, I guess. And they've been like, ooh, this person can do it, this person can do it. I'm like,
Miz.
Fine. Man, I'm cool with that. But
You just want to cast and get over with,
like,
so they can start making the fucking
so
next one.
So they can start making a fucking movie. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see the new Sub-Zero. I want to see Noob Saibot. I love it. I'm excited.
That's fair.
I started following Ed Boon right after we got out. Right after we
Nice.
watched Mortal Kombat, and I'm just like, if you turn that backwards, that's Noob. and he's always talking to Tobias or whatever. So I'm like, Saibot. Oh, like, it's so good. I didn't know that for the longest time, and I love it. But yeah. Either way, I'm just talking. I'm done with this episode. You guys have a good day. No, I'm just playing. Make sure you follow us for reasons. And YouTube.
There are reasons to follow us.
There are reasons. You are the new kid on the block, so
hanging tough. The right stuff.
Could this not be a one night stand? Because for one thing, I didn't get any. That was a joke. All right. This has been Keith
and Chris,
and I'm fucking done. Just today. I'll be back. Keith and Chris will be returning.
Ooh.